Thank you once more. Uh, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of US to Nigeria, representative of His Excellency, Akwa Ibom State Governor, and ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on existing protocol. And of course, I'm really honored and pleased to participate in this very great summit. I will bring the perspective, just as the summit stands on three tripods, the talk of entrepreneurship, employment, and what's the fourth one? Education, yes, which is very important. So I'll be talking more on the perspective of education, which falls under skills development. A lot has been mentioned about digital skills, and I would like to point out some of the activities going on in those very area within the activities in Nigeria. As rightly introduced, I'm Dr. Agu Collins. I'm Director of Corporate Planning and Strategy of the National Information Technology Development Agency, which is a government parastatal under the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. We have the primary NIDA. The acronym is NIDA. It has the basic charge with responsibility of regulating and developing information technology sector in Nigeria, and also the key mandate to build capacity, promote indigenous technology, collaborate with stakeholders towards national development. NIDA also carries, please, I would like, can you put the slide where there's a picture of this very board? Because I'll be talking about an education technology platform that was indigenously developed in Nigeria for capacity development in emerging technologies. If you don't mind, please. There's a slide that has the board. Keep going, please. Yes, let's leave this slide here, please, okay? So NIDA also carries out clearance of ICT projects. And again, I must mention here, I'm not officially representing NIDA or the government here. I'm currently on a research sabbatical. So I'll just mention briefly about some of the achievements and activities within NIDA as a government official, but not in official capacity. Whatever I say here is my personal opinion. NIDA also carries out clearance of ICT projects across the MDAs for technology compliance and interoperability. We also carry out advisory services for both public and private sectors. Not quite long, we developed a 4-year IT roadmap for Nigeria, which I chaired the committee, and this IT roadmap actually focused. One of the primary trust areas were digital skills and digital literacy, emerging technologies, and also indigenization of technology as well. I chaired the committee that actually developed the roadmap. Nigeria's population. Okay, besides, I'm also a founder of an innovation hub called TD4PA IoT Hub. I also carry out technical mentorship. We all know that IoT is one of the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution. And when we look at the trend of technology, there's always a need to upskill, reskill, relearn, and unlearn as well. So that's part of the charity activities also carry on in collaboration with other people that also act as mentors. It's located at Kuje, not far from the airport. And why this is important is that if you look at the Nigerian population, we're over 220 million now. And if you check carefully, we see that we have an annual growth rate of a little bit below 3%, precisely, let me put it at 2.5%. And this number translates to about 5.5 million people coming up every year in Nigeria. And the good thing is that we have 18 years as our median age. So you still have a very young and bustling population, making up 50% of the total population. 1 out of every Africans, I must mention, is a Nigerian. And then 1 out of every body of anybody, 1 out of people of African descent, 1 out of 5 people of African descent are also Nigeria, and we are the 7th most populous country. Why I'm mentioning these figures is that, okay, my direction, my final destination with things to do with human capital. How do we turn natural resources to human capital through infusion of skills that are required by the industry, especially in this time of fourth industrial revolution. Now, it is predicted by 2040, 2050 that the population of Nigeria will double. Not only population of Nigeria, right? The population of Africa is about 1.6 billion. That will also double. Now, what do we do with this population? What programs do you have in place to turn these human natural resources to what we call human capital through infusion of new skills and also through infusion of knowledge. Now, this era of globalization, the role of human capital is necessary for supporting sustainable economic activity towards economic progress and a country's ability to develop its human resources, specifically in providing skilled workforces in various fields, becomes the key to economic success. We are very concerned about this. We all know about the outsourcing, because what drives outsourcing is what they call maximization of profit. And for outsourcing to happen, you must have the necessary skill sets there. You must have some economic incentives, but the skill sets are key. Do you have the necessary human capital with those industries sought after skill sets to attract outsourcing here, also attract foreign direct investment in Nigeria? Our young people are our most valuable natural resource at home and abroad. Their ingenuity, creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurial spirit is evident to all. The Nigerian commercial city, Lagos, has been ranked as the leading startup ecosystem on the African continent. According to the 2021 Global Startup Ecosystem Report, Lagos ranked 52nd of the top 100 emerging startup ecosystems across the globe, ahead of countries like Cairo, Nairobi, and also Cape Town. Now, the government has made various strategic strides in sustaining the gains made so far in areas of innovation and entrepreneurship through the issuance of various enabling policies, framework, and guidelines, such as the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy, which is actually championed by the current Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, my immediate boss at NIDA, Professor Sali Ibrahim Pantami. And also, NIDA, being under the same ministry, issued that strategic roadmap and action plan, which we call the IT policy for Nigeria, with 7 strategic trust area. Now, I will proudly announce to you as well that on the 15th of this month, I don't know if people are aware, that's 15th of December, the Nigerian government approved the Nigerian Startup Bill to provide a conducive environment for entrepreneurs while also making provision for 4 foundational elements: capital, regulation, infrastructure, and talent. Some of the trust areas of the strategic roadmap and action plans are digital literacy and skills, emerging technology, focusing on the acquisition of modern skills required to increase the employability of our workforce. Because nowadays, we don't expect the youth now to be, employed ordinarily, because if you look at the industrial base of the emerging markets, it's not as robust as maybe the Western market. So we leverage more on the infusion of knowledge to make some of our youth to be employable, and that actually reduces the population from being a liability to asset. And this is done through actually capacity development in emerging technology. The 4th industrial revolution, characterized by the fusion of the digital, biological, and physical worlds, is a current and developing environment in which disruptive technologies and trends such as Internet of Things, IoT, artificial intelligence, robotics, virtual reality, cloud computing, 3D printing are changing the way we live and work. While technological advancements are undoubtedly increasing productivity, concerns over job losses due to automation are rife. The World Economic Forum predicts net job growth overall, with as many as 4 new roles emerging for each role. Well, there's always this argument that, okay, if you do robotization of some of the manufacturing processes, with all these emerging technologies, what happened to other people's jobs? The issue is that, as we're in that room, I don't know when last you saw typewriter. Typewriter is bygone. So that is why it's always very, very important and strategic to reskill and upskill. There are some certain professions, no doubt about that. But in that place, more professions will come out. So the question is, are you ready to fit into such profession? And that is why skills development in emerging technologies, very, very important. And that is what we are really, really concerned about and actually take very, very seriously. However, without good reforms in education through introduction of education technology, clear policies to guide us through, many people will lack the necessary strength to fill these new positions in future economies and societies that are anticipated to be fundamentally different from what we have now. Our educators have a responsibility to prepare students, providing them not only with knowledge and understanding of technologies, but also the skills needed to make them work ready and succeed in fast-changing world. In other words, It's our responsibility to make sure we infuse those knowledge to make our workforce to be future-proof. In educating for the fourth industrial revolution in the current environment, educational tools, technique, curriculum that we have been using for decades may no longer be fit for this purpose. Hence the need for periodic curriculum reviews to mitigate the increasing rapid rates at which knowledge becomes obsolete. ICT is a volatile area. Changes happen 6 to 9 months, and so on and so forth. And this one I understand very well. That's why not quite long we organize a stakeholders hangout and meetup. We invited stakeholders, the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, to discuss how we can rejig the education curriculum, to reflect the current technological needs and demands of the world we live today. Well, I'll just go straight to the presentation because I don't know how much time. I have quite a long speech to read. How much time do I have? I have 5 more minutes. Okay, I think I'll continue a little bit. We leveraging ICT as an enabler, introduce an award-winning edutech solution to diminish the deficiency in industry sought after and marketable skills, especially in emerging technologies that could have established Nigeria as an outsourcing destination, leveraging her reskilled workforce. Now, what we did was that we looked at our challenges and tried to come up with a customized solution that will suit our peculiarities in Nigeria. And that is why we came up with an education technology platform, what we call the Unity Board. It's actually called the IoT AI STEAM education. We all know we are moving from what they call the STEM now to STEAM. Before talking about analytical thinking, but today talking about the creative thinking. The A now is the application of some of those knowledge that will lead to innovation, commercialization, and so on and so forth. So it's actually the board I have over here, just to show a product coming from Nigeria. Most of the ecosystem of innovation are actually software-based, or called the downstream ICT. The upstream ICT that involves chip design, printed circuit board design and fabrication, embedded programming, and so on is really, really not too common, even in most parts of the world. But in Nigeria, we have come up with a product like this, which is actually championed by the current Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Ali Ibrahim, the education technology platform, to develop skills in IoT. IoT is one of the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution. Broken down means it comes with the 4 C's, which are pillars of ICT: computation, control, connectivity, and cloud. So this very board right now in the hub we are mentoring Kuje, they've applied this in monitoring of water projects. If you look at the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, water sanitation is key and is tied to the climate change. But most of the water projects in the rural areas had no way of being monitored. So this board actually developed in Kuje here, water monitoring system, remote water monitoring system, where some of the water projects by international organizations can be monitored, the performance, the quality of water, utilization, and so on and so forth. And other areas of needing like a remote monitoring, maybe things like climate change monitoring, and so on and so forth. I think my time is up. Thank you very much for inviting me, and we look forward for further collaboration here. Thank you very much.